What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Hunt Ready. This is J-Dub out in the shop here messing around with a new trap I picked up yesterday at the Iowa Trappers Convention. I picked this trap up just to compare it to a couple other dogless traps that I own. Just basically just to compare them. This is a Bridger #2 fully modified. It's offset jaw, outside laminated, it's 4-coiled, and then I'm guessing part of the modified package gets you the tack welded base plate. It's not just riveted, it's tack welded in there. So I picked this guy up. Basically I just wanted to compare it to I run the No BS K9 Extreme Juniors, and I ran some alphas last year just to see how they all stack up. So I got this guy here, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what you're going to need to do to get this ready to go before you prep it. Either paint it, dye it, and then wax it or dip it, whatever you guys want to do. I personally, on brand new traps that are not coated like the No BS ones, I paint them, and typically I'll dip them in Full Metal Jacket. I have waxed painted traps before, no issues, but if I paint them, I like to use the Full Metal Jacket. That seems to work the best, painting Full Metal Jacket. So that's how I would do these guys. A lot of guys try to rust them and do all that business and dye them. I think painting them and dipping them is going to be your best bet and the easiest, quickest. But like I said, this is a brand new trap right out of the box. I'll show you guys how I leveled the pan and a couple other things I had to do to it, and I got one more little trick that is gonna have to be done. So let me show you guys here. So when you get them, I like to do all this stuff before I prep my traps, at least to get them close. After you wax them, you may have to tighten up the pan tension a little bit or loosen it, depending. But I like to get everything pretty dang close, just sitting on the table brand new. So it just seems to speed that process up. You don't want to be snapping your trap 100 times after it's been waxed. You're going to lose a lot of your wax. So I like to get her set pretty dang close before waxing. So one thing about this, so it is 4-coiled, but with these tiny little levers on this thing, it is a bear to set. It's an absolute bear. I like to run 4-coiled traps, but this one here, whew, it's tough. So let me get him set. And you can feel, or you can see how it wants to catch. It wants to catch where these levers go over the base there. So I had to take a file. So the first thing I did, after I struggled and tried to set one and fought it over this part, I took a file and just hit it in a couple spots. There's a lot of burrs on there. There's not a whole lot of room to begin with there, so it's gonna catch on it anyway, but if you get the burrs off it, it's a little bit smoother. So that's one thing. Probably the first thing I would do is just take a file and clean up that base plate where it goes through the levers there on the tops and the sides. And then your pan. Now I've got this pan leveled. It doesn't sit this high. It's just not night latched. So you're gonna want to set that. So you're gonna hit your night latch like so. And when I got it, the pan was high. That's not bad. So you just take, what is it? It's a 7/16 on the back here. You can see right there, there's a nut, and That's like your mount for your pan. That slides. It's a you can't really hardly see through here, but if you look down in here, it's you're not gonna be able to see it. But there's a it's notched out here, so this pan can slide on that base back and forth, and that's what's gonna level your pan. So if it's high, you want your pan, this part, to come towards the back to lower that down. And I did it with it set. Just pop that loose. And it doesn't have to be like super loose. Just loosen that guy up a little bit. Make sure your jaws are flat. And just loosening that up, brought that in just a hair, and you can just tap that back, and then you can see that pan just went absolutely level there. If it was low, you'd bring your pan that way, bring it in closer to the base. So then we'll just tighten that up, right like that. Go the right way. Tighten that up, make sure that all stays. That's good. Then you can reef that down like so. Pan's flat. So the next thing you're gonna want to do is check your pan tension. Take just an old, a Sullivan's pan trap tester, they call it. I do this on all of them. So it's got the little covering on there. You can snap it and catch it in the jaws, or you can flip your loose jaw up. And I just hit it like right in the center. And I look for about 2 pounds. That's just a little under 2 pounds, so that's not bad at all. It'll probably loosen up quite a bit after you wax it. That pan's actually floppy, so I would expect after it's been waxed, it would probably it'll probably loosen up closer to 1 pound. But to adjust the pan tension, you just tighten this up. The bolt, the connecting bolt for your pan. Give it a couple turns. This is like, it's gonna be floppy for a while because it's gotta make some contact. So there we go. There's just where that made some contact and like snugged everything up. So it kind of stays up on its own there. Let's see how that affected hand tension. I'm telling you, these things are a pain to set. Absolute pain. If they'd have made the levers bigger, like on the Alphas or the OBSs, way better. But, so we'll catch that night latch. And if you guys see how I'm doing that night latch, this kind of took me for a little while to catch this on when I was doing some of those no BS's. You want to take your finger under the pan and your thumb on top, so you got something to kind of push against, I guess, without going too far and overshooting that night latch. So that's how I do that. But so this is with it just snugged up. We'll see how it is. 1, 2, 3. So just a little under 3. That's probably where I'll leave it till it gets waxed, and then it'll probably come right in it too. So one more thing that I would do on these traps, like I said, this is a 4-coil. So you'll see here where the spring rod is, how that's kind of bent up a little bit. I did that. If you look at it on this side, so right here, you can see that whole spring is like bent, and where this outside coil is pointed down. Now, I messed around with it a little bit, and super easy to get in here and pull this spring off of there. Really kind of a piss poor design leaving it like that for guys, in my opinion. But you can fix it pretty easy. Take you some pliers, and you're just gonna grab onto it. Let me come on this side so you can see it. Just gonna grab onto it, and you're just gonna bend it and give it a little bend back up towards the dog, or towards the pan, sorry. Kind of see that. So I'm just gonna grab onto this with some pliers, and it bends pretty dang easy. And just give it a good little upward bend to it. So you can see how that bends back up towards the dog, or towards the pan. So that'll keep that spring from coming off, hopefully. That should definitely be better than how it was. So that's basically all you need to do to these Bridger number 2s. Level it, adjust pan tension, adjust those spring rods up, bend those spring rods up so that those springs don't fall off too easy. And I might even try to tweak these up a little bit more, because yeah, so you want to point it up pretty good so that spring can't walk off of there. So just like that, guys. And then I would begin prep. So for me, I would pressure wash these, spray paint them, and dip them in Full Metal Jacket. However you guys want to do it is fine, but that's what I would do. And these would be ready to rock after you put an earth anchor on them. So that's it, guys. The Bridger number 2 Dogless, fully modified, offset jaw, outside laminated, 4-coiled. Pretty decent little trap. Check it out, guys. Iron Trail Trapline Supply carries these. If you're interested in them, give them a look. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.